Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I am your host, the Ranting Monkey, and we have a fun show for you today because holy shit, the world it's not burning, but it's certainly a fucking trash fire. Man, we had the Women's March. We had the Indigenous Peoples March, which I think is funny as fuck. Indigenous my ass. Jesus. And we have some other fun stuff thrown in here and there. So we'll see what happens. Good morning, women haters. Prosper, I don't hate women. I just I think they need to be handled very carefully because they get themselves in too much trouble. They need men to guide them. That's what we're here for, among other things. Wait, the Anzari, the Nazis came back? What? What are you talking about? Monkey, I had an ad when I came to the stream. That's because I haven't started swearing yet, Okie. No, look in your Dax. Go to the DMs, bud. Go to the DMs. You ignoring me is not me forgetting you. Dax, yeah, there's an invite. It's right there. It's right after I said OMG LOL. I posted the hangout to you. Ass. Make me sound like I'm the ass. Dax will be with us in just a second, apparently. We're professionals around here. Guys, it was our 2-year anniversary on Lords of the Night tonight. That was a really fun show. Got to talk about some of the old stuff and things people remember. And I wonder if we'll even be able to do that. I'm not sure I'll remember anything from this show. Dax.
Did
you see that your DM?
Yeah. You're still a dick.
What'd I do?
You had 2 hangout links there, and I apparently clicked the first one.
Only one right there. Yeah,
but I clicked one from days ago.
Oh, and I'm the ass. See,
yeah.
This is what I put up with. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm good.
You been watching this shit show that's been going on today?
I slept for most of it because I'm kind of under the weather, to be honest.
Oh, damn! Sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better soon.
I'll be all right.
The big news was Donald Trump made a speech of sorts. He went on television and the internet and told people about his plan to solve the government shutdown. What he offered was 3-year protection for DACA kids, another 3 years for 300,000, I guess we call them at-risk illegals. In exchange, he wants his wall. And before he could even finish speaking, Nancy Pelosi was like, no, damn it, no. Because she's a fucking child. Who are you talking to there?
Who, what?
Where Prospero says, your Twitter special explainer was special. Get her on here.
All right.
Prospero, you want to come hang out? I want to know what you're talking about to me. Whether you're talking, yeah, because I don't know what special explainer. Oh, are you talking about when I explained my plan for the 19th Amendment? I think most people know my plan for the 19th Amendment. I don't want to repeal it. I want to amend it so that women can still vote, because I believe women should be able to vote. I just don't think their vote should count. Because when their vote counts, bad things happen. But anyway, yeah, I did explain that again on Twitter today. I had forgotten about that. Anyway, so Trump comes out and he makes this proposal, which it actually sounds really good. And he's talking about drugs again, of course, and almost immediately the media comes out. The DEA says all the drugs are coming through legal ways. Well, he also said that he wanted more more border agents. He wanted more technology for searching those kind of cars. Johnny Blaze, I did check my DMs and I did respond to Bear. Monkey, you need to stop making that stupid joke. That's not a joke. Hi, Prospero.
Hello, dear.
How are you tonight?
Doing very well. Thank you. Happy anniversary.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry you lost all your shit in the game.
Oh my God, that sucked.
That I'd spawn it if I were you. I'd be no, screw you people.
Yeah, screw the complaints. Just spawn it, dude. That'd be bullshit.
Well, I've already replaced 2 of the guns. The mods aren't that important. I mean, they help. They certainly do. But
yeah, it still was like.
No, we've already dabbled a little bit across the line when we reset Horde Night. There's people like, well, you're getting extra XP. I'm still killing fucking zombies. This has happened before. I just play. The problem was how much of my good stuff was on my bar.
Yeah.
All of it. The only thing I kept was my auger and my axe. It sucked. The president is a child. It's sad. The president came out and made an offer to try to get this done. And before he could even finish making the offer, Nancy Pelosi was saying no and stomping her feet. No, this will never happen. So which one's the child?
Oh, your special person, just to explain it,
yes,
was the individual that took your tweet about the Women's March showing the Nazi Party rally.
Oh, that idiot.
And went off on the multi-tweet explanation regarding what the NDSP is, however it is. It's the National Socialist Democratic Party of Germany.
Yes.
And would not let, it was like you were hilarious actually, because it's like, you lose.
Yeah,
just you lose because you have no sense of humor, you putz.
That was a fun argument. I like people like that because they make it way easy. We'll get into that in a few minutes. We can actually go through the whole thread.
Yay.
Prosper, what did you think of Trump's proposal today?
I thought it was a decent proposal because even though it was a recycled proposal, it was a proposal. So for those people saying the art of the deal means that you have to compromise, well, the original deal was no compromise.
Mm-hmm.
This is a compromise, even if it's a recycled one.
It's not even exactly a recycled one. Rambler says, I'll get you the video when I get it. Thank you, sir. That's in regard to the Indigenous Peoples March. We can talk about that in a little bit.
Oh, that's fun too.
His original plan for this, he actually doubled the number of DACA kids. So they went from 700,000 to, it was even more than that. Wasn't it like 1.9 million?
It was that at least.
Real quick, Captain Jack, thank you so much. Why hasn't Dax praised the mighty glow cloud yet? Because he's under the weather. So,
and I was a little bit busy sorting out the final invites for the night. As I said, that's it. No more invites tonight unless Monkey grants you a special exception. In which case, if you want on, message us at some point. We'll test your audio because if your audio sucks, you know the deal.
Or kicks me for being a bitch.
I mean, I could.
I wouldn't kick you for being a bitch.
I'd push you. I wouldn't kick you.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Monkey.
Oh, well,
whoever you are, Batwing boy.
Boy.
Oh.
You calm yourself down, old lady.
Peter, how are you tonight?
Hey, I'm good, Monkey. How are you, man?
I really probably should be in bed, but I'm okay. Gonna push through because I really enjoy these streams. Anyway, the original proposal was 1.9 million, I believe. Because it more than doubled what the Democrats were asking for. And I think what Trump did here, I think he set them up. It's like, look, you can have 700,000. Now they can come back to the table if they're not being fucking children and go, no, wait. You said 1.9. That's what we want. And okay, I'll give you that. Sure. They get to pretend that they actually got more than he offered. because people have a short-term memory and don't remember that he already offered all of this shit. And they can both claim some victory. And instead, the Democrat, Nancy Pelosi coming out and saying no before he was even done telling people what the offer was. Like, are you out of your fucking mind, woman?
Satsu's take on this during Lords of the Night was the best I'd heard. We'll pick the foreign people over the domestic people.
Yes.
Screw them. And the way he framed it, I thought that's exactly what Trump should tweet out. This has now become your shutdown. I told you I'd say it was mine. And then, of course, I played fast and loose with that. But haha, that's politics. But now you just made it yours because you said no before I'd even put the full offer on the table. And you're picking foreign-born individuals who are not even here legally over your own citizens?
Frosted Glasses throwing a Delta direct flight ticket to Brussels. Well played, sir. Well played indeed. There's no reason not to build this wall. And we've talked about this before. $5 billion of our budget is fucking
pittance.
okay.
It's pittance.
Let's call it $6 billion because it is 5.7. I think Scribe was right to say we should just start calling it 6.
Well, there's always delays and there's always problems. So
sure,
6. Why not?
And it's not an impenetrable border wall that rises to the sky. It's like what has already been built that Acosta stood in front of.
Yes.
And it's been proven those kind of things are a good deterrent. So, again, what's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
There is no good argument not to. That's the part that I keep coming back to. It's like, look, if they could come back to me and say, like, putting this up, the one I did see that was kind of close was it might impact wildlife that goes back and forth across the border. Okay, you maybe you have a little bit of an argument there, but I think they'll be fine.
The wildlife will be fine. Life finds a way.
They'll be fine. But otherwise, the only argument I hear is just no, or it won't work.
Well, the whole purpose, to my understanding, even back when Clinton first was suggesting something like this, was to create choke points so that you wouldn't have to have a border security force that looked like a giant standing army.
Yeah,
spread across the border.
And that's all. That part of his was still, more border patrol.
Yes. And it's actually, if you build the wall now, it's cost cutting down the road. Because if the border patrol had to be increased in size to cover the entire border, that's a lot of pension money. They're federal employees. You spend your 5.7 now, you create those choke points, you put drones up, you have your standing border security numbers with maybe a couple thousand more.
Mm-hmm.
In the long run.
I got some super chats. Thank you, Snubber. Monkey, your thoughts on the Eggard watch ad? I didn't see it. I don't know what that is. Nope says, so we put a doggy door on the wall. And Antitheus Penguin there, so far he said he has arguments and I can DM him. You can DM him. My DMs are open. And if you want to toss arguments at me, I'd be happy to hear him. The only one that he's offered in chat is eminent domain cases. Because there's some from the Bush era that are still being handled in court. So
yeah, that's petty nuisance suits. And you actually can make a case now with these migrant caravans that you actually have a national emergency in those localities.
You don't even need a national emergency.
Oh no, I just mean to
sure.
No, but I mean, compared to the guy who lost his house in Connecticut, Kilo,
mm-hmm.
and they never built the Walmart.
Yeah, the Kilo decision was just shit.
It was terrible because a private company wanting to build a business is not the same as an interstate highway or a border security wall.
That's you, Dave? I didn't realize that was you. Do you want to come on and argue it? I'll be happy to have the discussion with you on here.
Wait, Dave who?
David Bishop.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's David Bishop. Okay.
Me and Dave, we've argued a couple of times on Twitter. I'm sorry. Do you mind me calling you Dave, or do you prefer David? I fuck people's names up all the time, so I'm so sorry. Where are we at? Yeah. So I am really curious to see what the Democrats will do. I'm guessing nothing based on what we've been told already. Snub said he tweeted the ad to me. I won't be able to watch it during the show, so I will check it out when I get a chance.
Weren't they all for border security? And when Obama was president, they were all championing this shit.
No, their opinions change.
Well,
Yeah,
there's speeches from both Clinton and Obama where they fit. You'd think they came out of Trump's mouth, including the crisis at the border. I mean, we have a humanitarian crisis. That is a quote from Barack Obama. And now we hear, oh no, there's no crisis. It's all been solved. Don't worry. You just go about your bit.
That's like Polly was saying yesterday. It has nothing to do with actual beliefs or anything. It's just about playing the game, and
sure,
Trump wants it, so everybody else has to disagree with it.
Oh, thank you, Captain Jack. Check your Streamlabs. All hail the Glow Cloud. I will do so, sir. Thank you so much. Over on the Streamlabs, Captain Jack says, the best video ever, play it on stream, please. I can't play videos on stream. I wish I could. My internet sucks so bad that videos just don't play. It's really bad. I can't use OBS. David, how you doing?
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Not bad at all. Hang on, I'm looking at this real fast. I'm sorry. You and I have actually talked once before.
On stream?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It was a long time ago. We both ended up on some stream that had like way too many people on it.
It's probably open house or something.
Yeah, and you and I got to talk just a very little bit at the end of it, and I've always wanted to talk to you again. And I'm glad you're here because we do end up tending to mostly agree here. So I appreciate you stepping in. And what besides eminent domain, because I think that's just not gonna. Yes.
So in case anyone missed it, because I did type it in the chat, we still have eminent domain cases from the Bush era, not even the Obama era, being worked out in the courts regarding border walls. So I mean, that's one thing. The idea of building the wall just kind of across the entire gate in some sort of linear fashion is just not going to work, at least not in the next couple decades to start off with. And then I'd say that we just have access to way better technology. I mean, we can do drones and border fort dispatching, which would be way more effective than a wall, which would be a better way to sort of siphon those funds.
Can't you do both?
I mean, you can, but the thing is that the walls really just don't work. So most of the illicit activity that we are noticing, when it comes to drugs, in small amounts is being done through tunnels, and through larger amounts is actually just being done on infrastructure already. So the idea of these things are going to be going through your ports just like they are now, with no change in the security at those entry ports.
Okay.
I mean,
but why not still build the wall? You can't tell me that there's nobody coming across that border.
No, absolutely.
No drugs or anything.
Absolutely, there is. But I think there's way better ways you can do it. Plus, a lot of people are talking about this $5 billion tag. So number one, materials, labor, initial costs alone, and this is without all the eminent domain costs and everything else, has been estimated for a contract to be about $40 to $50 billion. So the $5 billion is not going to be it.
Second thing, for a linear wall, or is that for the...
That is no technology. That is wall with a drive path, pretty much built linearly. Yes, which I think is a dumb thing anyway. But either way, $50 billion price tag initially. So has anyone here actually worked with federal government contracts? Because I have. I'm a Fed myself.
No, I have not.
The way things go when it comes to federal contracts is the initial bid is, and we're talking also with the length of amount of time that you'd be building this, it's going to fall off. So most government contracts end up getting bid at an original price, and they end up going about 150% over that. So you're gonna end up looking at probably about 120 billion abouts, right, for this, which still isn't a lot of money long term. I can agree there, but I just think that there's way better ways, especially in terms of technology and in terms of reinforcing things that isn't just a wall. A wall is just really simple. It's like a simple-minded concept, you know, because we want to think of like really simple ways to fix things, and it seems like the really simple way to fix things, but I don't think it's gonna actually do anything good. I think there's way better places we can put that money.
I didn't think it was supposed to be a linear wall to begin with. I thought it was supposed to be the choke point wall that we were talking about before. And I don't mean just choking two roads, but looking at choking to easy resource placement for the BPS or...
From the sound of it today, he was talking about a linear wall.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely sort of reiterated in the past, he's been talking about a linear wall.
And here's my problem with it. I've heard we have better ways to spend that money argument.
Yeah.
I don't understand why we wouldn't build the wall and use the other technology. You saw the Jim Acosta video.
Which Jim Acosta video?
You
I may not have.
Where he goes down to the wall to prove that we don't really need the walls, because where they have that wall, there's no real problem with illegals.
Well, that seems like a dumb thing because
it was really dumb.
You're not gonna have a bunch of people gathering on the other side of a wall.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. I'm sympathetic to that point.
If we have the wall, don't you think it would help at least some?
I mean, some in what sense?
That where the wall is, people are not going to be coming through there.
Sure, you got me.
So why not build the wall?
Because you're going to be stopping people that aren't necessarily like bad actors. The bad actors, which is I think what most people want to stop. What's up?
Coming across the border illegal is a bad actor.
Sure, I mean it's in the same sense that jaywalking is a bad action. It's only repeat entry after you're kicked out that you start going into the felonious realm.
Technically
That's
speaking,
what?
Yeah, technically speaking, only after felonious intent it's a peculiarity of our law, but trespassing is trespassing.
Sure, and jaywalking is jaywalking. They're both misdemeanors. I mean,
yes, but if I can't walk into Canada,
you can.
Yes, I know I could.
In fact, I've gone into Canada plenty of times when I was stationed up in Washington taking the ferry.
Would you go illegally into Mexico?
I've gone illegally into Mexico.
So you're a criminal.
Sure. Sure. I mean, have you ever jaywalked? Yeah, I mean, you're a criminal too. Congratulations.
Have I ever jaywalked?
I don't think
there's a huge difference between.
Oh my God, that was you.
I really don't think there's that much of a huge difference.
I think there's an enormous amount of difference.
So, real quick, nope, thank you. That is not correct for federal infrastructure contracts and other types of heavy civil projects. They don't have the ability to inflate much. Really?
Okay, so
we have a lot of examples of that.
I was going to say I can't see the person responding, but I can tell you this. I have seen they did a really big overhaul regarding military hospitals. They've done that over the past decade, and every single one of these has been like an $18 million project, and they've all been blown out to like 50 million plus.
Look, I will not dispute you that there's no way this is going to come in at 5.7.
Well, I mean, they even admit that. That's the whole thing is that they want a down payment on it, which is weird because we already have allotted funding for wall improvements, reinforcements, to the tune of billions that hasn't been spent. The money allotted to this was done under Obama, and there's still billions left in the fund, which isn't being used at all. There's also appropriations from last year that haven't been used. Only like 20% of the amount has been used.
Right, so, but you're talking about fixing what's already there, not extending what's...
Well, fixing or reinforcing. I mean, you have about, like 400 miles of sort of patch protections. I mean, you're going to start somewhere. $5 billion isn't going to get you much more than, I mean, you know what I mean? Like if you're going to make the wall, right, and you're going to want it to be big, beautiful slats, whatever, all the way across, I mean, you're gonna have to start somewhere. Why hasn't, the GOP Senate decided to sort of, through the Ways and Means Committee,
Don't get me started on that shit.
Appropriate the money that is absolutely available for them to do legally right now on land that is already owned by the federal government. No eminent domain cases to be done. No back and forth between the House. I mean, there's ways that they could have already started on this, and they've chosen not to. Which
not necessarily. If it's already been appropriated in a specific spot, it has to be reappropriated to do building. If what it's appropriated for was upkeep.
Yeah, okay. So when it comes down to this, a lot of the money gets separated and gets put down into states, and states get to decide sort of the looks and feel of the border.
Mm-hmm.
That is like subletted reach that is handed down to the states. The feds could easily pull this back and say, no. Here's what we want this to do. We want this to be standardized across the board. You're going to start working here, and here, and eventually, when we get the money, we're going to connect, point 2 and point 3 with the same sort of thing. So no, there's absolutely a way that they could have started on this, which leads me to, because I mean, like I said, there's a lot of sort of physical reasons why I think a wall is an inefficient use of money. But I think that there's a political reason that the Democrats are doing this as well. And I think that's worth talking about, in the sense that there was a Senate funding bill that passed 100-0. Every single Republican and Democrat in the Senate was on board with it. Trump had telegraphed that he was going to approve this. And then sort of last minute, saw some negative coverage on Fox News, got into a Twitter battle with Ann Coulter, and then all of a sudden refused to sign it. Now, that leads sort of to a tempestuousness that Democrats think that if they cave on this, what will happen is that Trump will use, because we're not even going to have a long-term CR after that, even if the government does open, he's just going to shut down the government over and over and over again to get all these little pet vanity projects done. There is that belief, and it's not that crazy to think that.
Real quick, let me get the super chat here. Thank you, Kingslayer Damocles. There's a difference between civil infraction and criminal infraction, but your jaywalking point puts them on the same level.
What is crossing a border that is a criminal infraction?
Violation of international law.
It's not international law to cross a border. I hate to tell you that one. In fact, international law substates that a lot of the times passing borders is not illegal.
It's not so much just crossing the border. It's what you do once you're in the country.
See, for me, it's just
the economy and.
Well, yeah,
that's the start of it, obviously.
Yeah, but I agree, Monkey.
There's more to it than that.
It's the crossing the border without permission, because you're either sovereign or you're not.
Dave, what's the downside of having a wall? I get it. Okay, let's say it's too expensive. But what's the downside of having it there?
I mean, so personally, I don't like feeling that I'm trapped in. I think, I don't like the idea that I couldn't cross a border and get away from this country if I needed to. I mean, that's just like a personal little thing.
So you see it kind of more, you're worried more of like the East German kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that you got blinders on if you don't think like that a little bit, if it's not a little bit hesitant in your mind.
I don't have any intention of leaving the country.
No, I mean, I do. So
yeah, I understand that. So that we're just different in that effect.
I get that point, except this is not a contiguous border wall.
Well, it definitely, the way that has been talked about it in the past, it definitely is.
Couldn't you hop in the Pacific and just swim around?
Well, I mean, unless you've done something illegal, and I see what you're saying, because the state could declare something you had done illegal. You could board a plane, you could board a boat, you could cross into Canada.
Well, until the government says you can't.
Yes, but they could do that regardless of a wall.
Yeah, sure, but it makes it harder to get out, right?
But isn't that the point? Is it makes it harder to get in?
Well, sure.
So I mean, if you're worried about being able to get out, then you must know that getting in would be a lot more difficult.
Well, I mean, to be quite honest, though, I don't have this. I live in California, sort of born here. I don't have just this weird sort of irrationality about just random illegal immigrants in the first place.
It's estimated between 25 and 40 million illegals are here.
The last that I've seen is that we have 37 million, and that is about 60% of the total number. So I guess you're about right. What, 20, 25-ish at a lowest man? Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I go the number I see most often is 25, but I have seen 40, so I just go with the range.
That's a tenth of the population of the country.
It's like a third
less,
of Britain. I mean,
that's a lot of freaking people.
Sure. I mean, well, so what's the answer? So regarding that number, ranting, ever since like the crash, we've sort of hit this sort of, like nobody's really the same amount of people that are coming in are sort of going out. Whereas right after the 2008 recession, we actually had like an outflux of illegal immigrants who were leaving the country. I mean, do you think that, number one, I mean, because the market is a pretty big thing, right?
Sure.
So when you are like in Honduras or Guatemala, right, and your government's like literally like hunting you down and killing you, and so is the cartel and stuff like that, and you're already willing to trek like 3,000 miles, do you think that when you get up to the top, and then there's a wall there, that's going to stop you?
I think having the wall there might stop you from even making the trip.
But why?
If it makes it so hard to get out, why can't it make it hard to get in? I don't understand that.
Well, I mean,
not being able to get out.
It all depends. It's because there's kind of like a spectrum of distrust here. If we're talking about you throw down a wall and then all of a sudden, that's it. It's over. It's not really effective at either way. I mean, which goes to the sort of effectiveness comment of the wall in the first place. But if you build a wall and then all of a sudden you're throwing razor wire on top of it and all of a sudden you're throwing armed guards every half mile, it's going to become really effective. It's going to be really expensive. But I mean, that at that point, like I'm here like, well, I guess you're never going over that way.
Well, that same technology, though, that you suggested.
Yeah, like drone dispatching? Yeah.
Yes, could be used against U.S. citizens. It's been already done. So your argument about it's keeping me in, if you're part of the party trying to escape and you're being drone tracked, and the guys at Nellis say, bang, you're gone just as easily as you would be with the concertina wire and the gun turrets.
Real quick, let me get this super chat. Thank you, Midnight in Exile. Is this guy a globalist? Is his goal to see one world global society? Are you a globalist, Dave?
Is this like a keyword for Jew? No, I'm not Jewish.
No.
Like,
no, do you believe like that the UN should like have say over every country rather than each country being sovereign unto themselves?
No.
That kind of stuff. Yeah, I didn't think so. Guys, Dave's a good guy. He just disagrees with us on this.
No, that I wasn't. I hope I didn't sound like
I've never heard globalist not mean Jew, so I think that's funny. Yeah,
really.
That's definitely like a code word for Jew these days.
Are you suggesting that's a dog whistle, my friend?
I'm just saying it's definitely a code word for Jew these days.
It's code word for the fucking EU. And also, good morning. I hope we're well this morning.
We are.
Morning, Bear.
Good morning.
I'm actually enjoying this. We have somebody in disagreement, and you guys know how I like disagreement.
Your soundproofing is disgusting, by the way.
You be nice.
Hey, I stole it from Andy Worski. Okay.
And
so green.
And the whole purpose is to argue in good faith. So
I don't give a shit about his arguments here. I'm just looking at them green pads.
You be nice.
Hey, I just want to say this is like literally $25 on Amazon. And it makes me
I can
better,
tell.
So.
Yeah, I can tell.
Oh, fuck off, mate.
I dripped a few tears on that Alabama thing because, sorry. The tide got rolled instead of the tide rolling.
Yeah. Well, at least those sons of bitches got a horrible dinner at the end of the day, okay?
Oh, you don't like McDonald's?
But they still got to go to the White House.
That's true. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I would love to eat a Big Mac with Trump. I'm not lying.
That'd be awesome.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you
Any
think?
president.
What do you think that he like he's chewing on a Big Mac and he's just like, oh, this is so good, right? And you're just like, yeah, it's so good.
No, like, I would any president. I would love to. My favorite would have been to have a sit down with Clinton in his heyday back when he was president. I think he's a fascinating man who had to make so many political changes in the election and as he became president.
You just wanted his address book.
Yeah, that's what he wanted. He wanted to be part of the Come-A-Lot administration.
Jesus. No, especially once the Republicans took over Congress in '94, and how he had to change pretty much everything he had planned to do, and how he dealt with all that, especially with all the shit going on with the independent counsel. A Big Mac with Clinton, hell yeah, I'd have done that.
I would go. Actually, let's just go across the board and say the president you would get a Big Mac with, because I think that's a good topic. I would choose Truman. That is like my favorite president.
Oh no! Oh, mouth shutting.
You got the balls to drop nukes.
He had no choice to drop.
I know, no, it was a great decision.
Yeah, and then he got us into Vietnam accidentally.
Things happen.
Yeah,
Things happen.
No, you let De Gaulle win, and you get us into Vietnam.
Let's see. The president would want to have a Big Mac out of all of them.
Yeah,
wow.
dead. They can be dead.
Dead or alive?
I know my answer. I'm interested in what you're gonna say.
You're like Andrew Jackson.
That'd be great, but no, that's not my guy. I'm waiting.
I would have loved to have sat down with Jefferson, because his ideas. A lot of people don't. Different times, but he still had some amazing thoughts and ideas. I mean, he basically gave us the separation of church and state, and this is a man who was president, and when he listed his 3 greatest accomplishments, that wasn't one of them. The humility that takes in that, you'd never see that today. That would be on the top of any president's list. But I don't think I'd want to go back that far just because of how different the times were. Maybe. Oh,
he'd have to come here because he's getting the Big Mac.
That's presuming you don't spend the whole time explaining what a goddamn Big Mac is.
Quite honestly, Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because so many people thought he was a fucking moron. That everybody else ran the administration and stuff. And I would love to sit down and see
if there's validity to that.
Yeah.
Huh.
You can fix that pretty easily. There's a compendium of his letters.
So, ranting, I can tell you for a fact, George W. Bush is way smarter than people think he is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. But he's
no, he intentionally dumbed himself down as literally part of the tactics of governance.
I think you kind of have to, don't you, for the everyman appeal?
That's sort of what he was going for.
He was very much like Reagan in that regard, I think, because
there was a great SNL skit way back when Reagan was president, where they keep having like these photo ops with Reagan, and he's this kind of stupid guy. He doesn't know what he's doing, and then when the cameras and everything are gone, he's out there issuing orders and just in charge of everything.
I remember that now.
Yeah, I would love.
Good. I like that.
If that's how he really was, I think that would be interesting. Open up to differing opinions. It's freeing. I am open to different opinions. I find
we're talking right.
If you don't challenge your own beliefs, if you won't talk to people who are different than you, how do you know you're right? I can't tell you how many times I've talked to somebody and just like a word or just one of their random thoughts has changed everything I think because it clicks in my brain. That's you should be seeking knowledge.
And that's why there's no such thing as hate speech.
Oh, there is no such thing as hate speech.
Because hate speech is the genuine slippery slope that cuts off discourse. Because
Supreme Court just told us like 2 years ago.
Well, I don't care what they said. I'm talking philosophically.
That sets the law of the land.
Yeah, I know it does. I'm being a dick. But it's if you can't air differing opinions without getting so butthurt that you claim that is hateful or hurtful, you're an authoritarian and you need to go away.
Yep.
Yeah, there's other words for it. I mean, you're being obnoxious, you're being an asshole. I mean,
British government, the European Union, I know, right?
You seem like that's a problem for you, Bear.
It's a big fucking problem.
I was thinking of that when I was speaking about it.
As you should. It should be synonymous with the term hate speech at this point.
You're just mad that you have to live under British law.
Yeah.
Well, EU law.
I'm actually more mad that I saw someone tweet out that Diane Abbott's working class this morning.
She's working on adding a couple of inches.
Oh, you're taking the fucking piss.
Hey, can you guys like hurry it up with Brexit, by the way?
Well, you're more than welcome to come assist.
I'm sick of seeing it on the news. Like I could care less about this, and for some reason everyone thinks it's important, but as an American, I could give a fuck less.
You could always complain to your local news stations.
Like, stop covering Brexit. It's not even our country.
Yeah.
Still affects us.
No, not really. I mean, Britain's going to fuck itself over with all these trade deals and stuff, but it doesn't really affect us too much.
Not if it's WTO rules. If they go WTO, it's not going to fuck us over.
Wow. I mean, I don't even like. I stopped following Brexit like 2.5 years ago, and then you like hop back in, and you're like, oh wait, nothing's fucking changed.
That's true. Nothing has changed. And how do you feel about that, Bear?
What, that my government is completely incompetent?
Yeah.
Or is purposely trying to sabotage it?
Thank you, Frosted Glass. Yeah, Europe is full of globalists. I see what you did there.
Best thing to come out of the government shutdown, in my opinion, was canceling the trip to Davos.
Yeah.
I can see that. I think the best thing to come out of it was canceling the trip to Brussels because that
was hilarious. Well, she was just going to get drunk with Juncker. That was the entire purpose of going.
It's a rest for their pilot. Come on.
Yeah, poo.
No, that was. Oh yeah, Brussels was the rest for their pilot because they were heading to Afghanistan.
She owes Juncker a bottle of something for scuppering something somewhere.
Okay, we've sent out more invites than I meant to, so just everybody's stream etiquette. Y'all know
This
how
was
to
your
do it.
fault. I told you who was invited.
I know, but I wanted to talk to David because like I said, we've only got to talk once, and it was a long time ago. We've argued on Twitter a few times, but I really do like David. Me and him have very different views on most things. But like I said, challenge yourself, or there's no.
You can be friends with your opposition. There's no goddamn rule that says you can't.
I think as long as you're not willing to or you're not sort of intent or hellbent on dehumanizing your opposition, you should be fine.
Yeah, there's no. Sometimes they ask for it, and sometimes when you run into trolls, you just have to have fun with them. But if you're having a genuine argument, there's nothing wrong with that.
So someone did ask me a question in the chat, by the way. Can I answer it? They said,
absolutely.
David, how do you feel about the Second Amendment? So I own 16 guns. So I honestly do think I think guns are fine. The bump stock decision by the ATF, sure, whatever. I don't care. It's kind of an irresponsible but fun thing to have anyway. But I do think that it would be nice to have some sort of mandatory training prior to first purchase. So go over like just different types of firearms and like different types of safeties and stuff like that. We just have way too many accidental, not deaths, let's say, but like accidental people like shooting themselves because they're fucking stupid and they don't know like how to use a Glock versus like a 1911. Mm-hmm. So I just think it'd be nice if, and I don't know, really, I've never really thought to flesh this out. Is it going to be paid for by the state or by the person or by the Fed? I don't know. I just think it would be nice if everyone sort of got some hands-on and learned about guns before they bought their first one. So that's sort of where my feelings on the second.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea.
No, I tend to agree. Actually, it's not a bad idea. That's about the only reform I could see that would make any genuine dent at this point.
It's probably the only one you could get the NRA to agree to.
Sure.
Because they have courses and gun safety has been a lot of their emphasis.
Oh yeah, there's so much. And they could make so much money off that if NRA was the one who sponsored all the courses.
No kidding.
So
capitalism ho.
David, didn't you say you were military?
Yep.
Hi, Jenna.
Hi.
Oh, you got little penguins
Jenna.
there. Is that for Dave?
No, she's had penguins for a little while.
Oh,
she's stalking me.
Zach sent me the link at 2. It took me this long to figure out how to get on.
Well, welcome.
I had to tell her to put it in manually because apparently automatic linking wasn't working.
Now, David, I don't know
Hi,
how much
dear.
you.
Hi, Prospero.
Hey, Jenna.
Hello,
David, I
Jenna.
don't know how much
are
you
we?
watch this show, but what we do is we have a topic or two, and then we just kind of randomly chat. If you need to drop it anytime, let us know, and we'll say bye. And
Hint, hint.
no, I'm not doing that because I don't want him to feel like he has to be here.
He's like, get the fuck out.
Oh,
We want to
God
talk
damn
pro
it.
Trump shit.
No, that wasn't.
No, we're gonna rip on the Women's March next.
Oh, nice. Oh, can I join in on that? Because I'm
Sure.
loving the Linda Sarsour just getting treated like dog shit.
Oh, that woman.
She
I hesitate to call her that.
She technically would be killed in her own religion for doing what she's doing. Speaking without her husband, going out in public without a male chaperone.
Well, depending on where she is, you're a little bit quiet, sweetie. Is there any way you can move your mic closer to your mouth or turn it up a little bit?
Eat your tablet. Find your mic and get it close.
I have my headphones in. Is that any
Okay, hang on.
better?
I'll turn you up over here. I think I can do it. So you're not a fan of Sarsour, eh?
Oh, of course not.
She's
What
all
are
I
you
ever
doing?
wanted.
I'm
She's
not a
fucked.
fan. I'm not a fan of any of the intersectionality between Islamism and the Women's March. I'm really glad that there's all these like Women's March like sub organizations that are all like fuck Women's March DC.
Yeah. I read that one article that just ripped them up and down because of the different subsection. There's different subgroups that weren't being supported enough by the main Women's March Incorporated.
Oh no! There's some of them that it's like nuts. I think it's like Women's March Ontario had like sort of a falling out. They were operating sort of autonomously outside Women's March DC, and Women's March DC contacted them and was like, "Hey, you need to start paying us money and do this," and they were like, "What? What are you talking about? We're not doing this. Plus, we don't agree with like Linda Sarsour and Tamika Mallory, so we're not going to affiliate with you guys." And it was like literally over the weekend, 2 people in Ontario registered a company in Ontario, like Women's March, like something Ontario,
Mhm.
and then like pretty much tried to sue them for using their copyright.
Nice.
Yeah. So like they're like literally trying to make this like conglomerate and force out all these grassroots organizations and stuff like that. And I'm like, you guys, like, this is a really horrible look for you guys, and you guys are just making a horrible look after horrible look. Like, no, Women's March DC needs to burn, and I'm so glad that like the DNC like disinvited Sarsour like 6 months ago, and then recently like pretty much disinvited the whole Women's March DC gang. Like, I think it's it's better late than never, but it should have been done months ago.
I remember, the first Women's March, there were like 1 million women just there in DC. And then I saw a headline today: thousands of women across the country. I was like,
Oh yeah, they were on all 7 continents the first time.
And yeah, now they're
Oh yeah, because these Islamists and shit like that have fucking poisoned it.
They were in Antarctica?
but
Yes.
they were
They had an Antarctic Women's March.
Oh, that is the March of the Penguins. I love it.
Pretty much.
No, they were really there to see the aurora lights.
yeah.
Yeah.
Linda Sarsour was involved from the beginning. Mallory was involved from the beginning. That's the part I don't get about this is there's nothing about these people we didn't know during the first one. And I get, that there was the newness of it and there, yeah. But by the second one, people should have been asking more questions.
They did like some surveys on like the second one, and it was the overwhelming majority was like 90+% of the people they surveyed in random areas had no idea who like Tamika Mallory or Linda Sarsour were. That's how
Sure.
disjointed and sort of like grassroots it was. And then Women's March DC pretty much like sought to make a buck out of all this because what they
Yeah,
wanted
they
to
did.
be was the central fundraising hub for all of these women's marches that they weren't even necessarily in control of or assisting in helping planning or logistics or anything like that. They just wanted to make a shit ton of money out of it. And yeah, I mean, and then obviously all the racism and anti-Semitism and shit like that started pouring out.
Well, the that one article, the one that just ripped them up and down, that was one of their complaints is that, we're supposed to send them money, but they're not supporting us in any way. like can't even get them on the phone, for any kind of moral support, I guess is organizational support. That's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, you better pay your dues. It's like the worst McDonald's setup ever.
Well, it wasn't ever meant to be that, like, Women's March Portland or whatever was supposed to be like a franchise of Women's March DC.
Right.
It's just they saw the opportunity to make a shit ton of money, so they made it that way and started copywriting and everything.
Sure, and we've seen that happen with so many kind of movements like that. And then they all fall apart because these people are stupid.
Yeah. Does anyone remember the Tea Party or Occupy Wall Street? This will go away in time too.
Sure. Well, after this one, I can't imagine they'll have them anymore.
Who was the chick that was involved in that first women's march that had been convicted of manslaughter?
Oh, fuck. I know what you're talking about.
Madonna.
Yeah, because
I remember.
no, not Madonna, but I'm pretty close.
I do. Did you guys see the thing about how Islam originally gave women equal rights 1400 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes, certainly they did.
I forget her name. I'll try to look it up on my twitters, but yeah, and I was like, oh my God, are you fucking joking me? Like, someone I don't know if you know who Claire Voltaire is. I think Monkey you do, but
yes, yeah.
And she just wrote a thing, and it was like, so you guys did this all 1400 years ago? What happened since then? Like,
they changed their mind. No, I was trying to find that. This is the one. Is this it? No. Well, this is one I'm not even familiar with this guy, Caleb Hull. He was at the Women's March, and there's a woman with a sign that said, "America was never great," and they actually got into an argument, and she actually suggested it's better for homosexuals in Iran than in America.
Oh yeah.
They get to transition for free.
Like, bitch, what are you talking about? That makes no sense.
They get free flights. What are you talking about?
By the way, it was Nadia Hassan.
Thank you.
So what she said was, our First Amendment rights, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, free choice, and free will were all liberties that were afforded to humanity by God in the Quran 1400 years ago.
Well,
No.
God might have given them to him, but Muslims wouldn't let them.
Yeah, and someone asked what the penalty is for apostasy or conversion, as outlined in the Quran. Yeah, I know not everyone does it. Just like this, there's like the same shit in the Bible, and no one does it. But it's happening way fucking more in Islamic countries, like a million times more.
We just saw that girl trying to get out of Saudi Arabia to go to Australia. Because
it's sad that I'm not even aware of that story, but there's been dozens of people that have tried to leave Middle Eastern countries and are literally like snatched at airports by relatives and then turned over to the governments and stuff like that. Yeah,
she barricaded herself in her hotel room and got I think she was in the Philippines. I can't remember what country she was in, but she actually blew up and the Australian stop it. The Australian government said they would actually look into her case, and I hope she gets out, because if not, they'll kill the poor girl.
Yeah,
we actually refused entry to one of these girls because we didn't want to upset the Islam community in the UK.
That was Asia Bibi.
No, you mean the Asians.
I'm sure they're looking into it the same way that Saudi Arabia looked into the Khashoggi death.
Sure, yeah, right. We'll look into that for you.
And then it comes out later, like 3 months later, she left her Apple Watch on, and you can hear bones getting cut with a bone saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, Asia Bibi was the one, Bear, that you were talking about.
Yeah.
The Christian woman who is, or was at that time, functionally illiterate, had made some comment that got reported to the local Sharia police. And Pakistan interred her to try her for blasphemy. And she finally gets freed by the bravest judge in all of Pakistan. I think he's already scarpered. And then the UK says, oh no, we don't really want to upset the Pakis here.
That's racist, Prospero. That's
Well,
7 years, I'm afraid. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm in the U.S., so
I'm going to come get you.
no, okay.
So-
Once you get here, you can stay here, and then I'm going to declare you as a dependent.
Didn't you say you were going to put me in your basement?
I don't have a basement, and I've already adopted Tailed Feature, but as long as you will claim him as a cousin,
I am
We're
not sharing a room with him.
no, you don't. You don't have to.
He's too Scottish.
What were you going to ask, Dave?
No, I was going to say on the topic that she was discussing, it's one of the weird things with the Brexit overlap is that people think Brexit's going to sort of remove them from all these things, but the Council on Human Rights, it's actually like a treaty or whatever that predates the joining of the European Union by like 40 years. So a lot of these cases that they're dealing with, the UCHR is dealing with that regard hate speech right now, even after Britain leaves, they're still going to be dealing with this stuff, which is, I don't know, a little bit nuts to me. I wish that some of those other countries were more like the U.S. when it came to not willing to jail people or excessively fine them for speech. But hey,
They don't
Yeah,
have a
that's-
constitution.
Well, at least then they'd be in control of their own destiny.
You are my destiny. 7 years for you only. Yes, we don't need European interference to have our own hate speech laws. I think you'll find if you look up the Crown Prosecution Service, we have our own fully instituted British legislation over this.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
the ECHR has been responsible recently in a couple of hate speech related things with Europeans.
Elizabeth Savage Wolf.
The one thing I never understood about you guys when it came to the UK is that speech is like a natural like sort of vent off valve, you know? Like if someone gets pissed enough and they're not allowed to talk about how pissed they are, they're going to go to violence.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's a factor that sort of escapes a lot of people's minds when they discuss all this stuff. Like you see, I mean, like a good example, right? We had like the Unite the Right and then Unite the Right 2 like last year.
Mhm.
If those guys were just stuck out, I mean, like inside the whole time, we're never allowed to do that sort of stuff. I mean, what are they going to end up doing? They're going to like Seattle for Truth their dads and stuff. You know, so
The British have solved this problem by taking away garden spades and butter knives.
Mm.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, that story that I saw 2 days ago was actually from 2 towns from the place where I grew up from.
I'm sorry.
Very, very sad.
Guys, I'm actually going to run this one short tonight. I think I have an ear infection. My head is spinning again.
Go to the doctor, please.
I'm going to. They just. I have to wait for my doctor to open, and it's Martin Luther King Day is Monday, so I don't even know if they're open this Monday. So I'm going to end up going to the damn clinic. But I'm bringing that because I have to wrap it up, and I'm sorry. This is a short one. We only went an hour tonight. But chat, thank you so much for the super chats. I can't tell you how much I appreciate, and thank you guys for just coming and hanging out. You guys are amazing, and I love you. Dave, this is when we do a shill part. Is there anything you'd like to shill?
Shill? Am I gonna get like failured here and just kicked off?
No.
Oh, okay.
I go through everybody, and then we actually end.
Okay, on iTunes, you can look up the Insubordinate Podcast or on YouTube, and that's where I'm at. Or follow me at Liberal Penguin on Twitter.
There you go. Dax, anything you want to shill tonight?
Just the Streamlabs.
Okay, Bear.
Yeah, I put out a opinion piece on Black Mirror on my second channel. Go give it a watch, guys.
That's over on the Irate Alex channel. We got to tell them where to find it, Bear.
Yeah, I'm gonna link it. Hold on.
There you go. Jenna, anything you'd like to shill tonight?
Don't drive while diabetic.
I don't think any of us heard that.
Don't drive while diabetic.
Fair enough.
Hi, Peter.
Peter, anything you'd like to shill?
Not really. I don't make videos or anything, but just the Minions of the Zoo, actually.
There you go.
Check them out.
30 p.m. Eastern time on the YouTubes on the Minion of the Zoo channel. Prospero.
Yeah.
Anything?
Peter stole my thunder.
There you go. Guys, tomorrow's Sunday, so I will not be on Lords of the Night. We don't have a show tonight, but I will be on 2 Cents Plus playing 7 Days to Die with Satsu. It's our long show. Come hang out with me. It's a lot of fun. I would like to thank David, Dax, Bear, Jenna, Peter, and Prospero for joining me tonight. David, I'd like to have you back sometime if you'd be willing to come hang out with us on a longer show. Same with Jen and Peter.
DM me anytime.
Cool.
Hopefully, I'll figure it out quicker.
Thank you, Shiogarath. Go see a doctor. I will. Duck Dog, thank you. Kevorkian is from Michigan. Watch out which doc you visit. That's okay. So, guys, that is going to wrap up this one. Thank you for hanging out with us, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Latest.
Bye.
Bye, guys.